Alex Ayala has just touched down in Chicago, Illinois, where she's about to sign a $30 million deal with Gatorade. That's $30 million. Let that number register for a moment. And as this news ignites across the internet, there's a particular crowd of people feeling a deep sense of unease right now. These are the naysayers, the skeptics, the ones who spent years telling anyone who'd listen that Alex Ayala simply didn't have what it takes to compete at the highest level of professional tennis. They're the ones who whispered that she'd never succeed, that she was just another promising talent destined to fizzle out before ever reaching the sports summit. Every last one of those individuals is at home at this very moment watching this story unfold, and the weight of their regret is hitting them like a ton of bricks. Because Ayala didn't just succeed, she's now inking $30 million contracts with one of the most recognized sports brands in the world. And the most incredible aspect of it all is that this is merely the start of what is shaping up to be an absolutely epic career. Gatorade isn't a corporation that simply doles out $30 million contracts to just anyone. They are incredibly discerning about who represents their name, because the athletes they endorse are far more than just faces on a product. They serve as symbols of greatness, of resilience, and of the type of resolve that motivates millions of individuals across the globe. When an offer of that magnitude comes from Gatorade, it carries significant weight. It means they've assessed Alex Ayala and concluded with absolute certainty that she is worth every single cent of that financial commitment. They've tracked her career arc, evaluated her marketability, and closely examined the scale and devotion of her fan base that spans several continents. And to be honest, when you look at all she has built both inside and outside of the sport, it is nearly impossible to find fault with their assessment. The agreement is reportedly a 2-year contract which will establish Ayala as the primary representative for Gatorade in the WTA. And this is the masterstroke of this partnership that too few people are discussing. Gatorade is not just investing in a tennis player with this contract. They are gaining entry into a whole demographic and an entire market that has been desperate for this very form of representation. Alex Ayala offers something that no other competitor in the WTA currently can. She stands as the only East Asian athlete performing at the absolute peak of women's professional tennis. She embodies the hopes and aspirations of millions of supporters throughout the Philippines and all of Southeast Asia each and every time she sets foot on the court. And Gatorade is fully aware of what that signifies for business opportunities and brand growth. The potential in this partnership is immense, and Gatorade has maneuvered themselves into the perfect spot to leverage every aspect of it. The sports drink industry is currently estimated at $1.17 billion, and forecasts indicate it will surge by more than $2 billion by the year 2034. That is a colossal market waiting for full engagement, and the companies that move quickly to partner with the right personalities are set to control that phenomenal expansion. Gatorade has made a brilliantly strategic business play here, because Alex Ayala is the ideal conduit between the world of tennis and a vast, untapped consumer demographic across Southeast Asia. She is more than just a competitor. She is a cultural force, and every major global corporation is beginning to recognize this fact with considerable seriousness. The statistics confirm it. Her fan base confirms it, and the financial success of every project she's been a part of confirms it. Gatorade took note of all this proof, acted with conviction, and now they are positioned to benefit enormously from that audacious and forward-looking move. And the partnership hasn't even been formally announced. Reports suggest Gatorade is orchestrating a major unveiling at the BNP Paribas Open next month. Can you even begin to picture how that moment will unfold? The bright lights, the media frenzy, the palpable buzz in the stadium. And then the declaration that one of tennis's most electrifying new talents is now the ambassador for one of the planet's most influential sports drink brands. Her supporters are going to be absolutely ecstatic when that time comes. Her detractors are already in a panic trying to formulate their next line of criticism. And don't forget, the official news hasn't even been released yet. When that announcement is finally made, the collective meltdown from the skeptics will be a sight to behold, and we'll all be there to see it happen live. Every individual who ever dismissed Ayala is on the verge of a very tough day. And in all fairness, they created this situation for themselves by misjudging her from the get-go. But this is the key thing those critics never grasped about Alex Ayala. She was never solely focused on collecting trophies. She was building a dynasty from the very start, one agreement, one partnership, and one victory at a time. While some were attempting to belittle her, and pundits were searching for any justification to write her off, Ayala was discreetly amassing deal after deal. She was executing strategies that would guarantee her financial stability and cement her legacy for years to come. The Gatorade partnership is monumental and historic, but it's not the only significant business transaction she's completed recently. Earlier in the year, Eala finalized a huge agreement with NutriAsia that demonstrated just how astute her business sense truly is. Rather than taking a standard cash deal that most athletes would have readily taken, she arranged for a 2% equity share in the corporation. That one choice speaks volumes about her approach to her professional life and her future. NutriAsia is valued at $240 million right now, an amount that has soared by nearly 50% over the past year alone. That means her ownership share is already worth millions, and as NutriAsia's expansion continues, her personal net worth grows in tandem. This is not the strategy of an individual who is simply trying to capitalize on their fame for a quick profit. This kind of maneuver shows she's thinking 10, 15, even 20 moves down the line, building an empire that will endure far beyond her time on the court. And we can't forget the Neutrifactor ad campaign from just 4 months ago, which absolutely shattered records online. That single commercial skyrocketed to become one of the most viewed ads on all of YouTube, clocking in at around 70 million views. 70 million individuals chose to watch a commercial. This wasn't a hit music video or a trailer for a summer blockbuster. It was an advertisement that starred Eala. That figure becomes almost unbelievable when you truly consider what corporations pour into marketing just to get a fraction of that engagement. Securing 70 million impressions on a single piece of content is a result that companies often burn through hundreds of millions of dollars trying to engineer. And yet Eala managed it almost without effort, simply by being her authentic self and forging a real connection with her fan base. When those viewership numbers started climbing, companies across the globe took notice and immediately began working the phones, because figures like that are impossible to disregard. It doesn't matter how big your brand is. Even Nike has been monitoring Eala's rise with intense focus, and what they've witnessed has reportedly persuaded the whole company that she is the key to the future of tennis in the Asian market. Sources suggest that Nike is making a major play to sign her, largely fueled by a desire to avoid the painful sting of losing Coco Gauff to New Balance. That particular fumble stands as one of the most expensive endorsement errors in Nike's recent past, and it's a lesson they have not forgotten. Gauff transformed into one of the most bankable athletes in the sport, and Nike had to watch from the sidelines as all of that incredible value walked away. They are determined not to repeat that history with Eala. Since New Balance and Adidas were also reportedly pursuing her with great intensity, Nike understood it couldn't afford to stand by while its competitors made their plays. The excitement surrounding Eala is simply too widespread, too persistent, and too influential for any major industry player to overlook. The financial figures being floated for the potential Nike contract are absolutely astronomical. Insiders mention a baseline of $45 million over 3 years, with performance-based bonuses that could drive the total value considerably higher. But the role being created for Eala within the Nike family may hold even more weight than the raw cash amount. By any measure, this arrangement would be a far cry from a conventional endorsement deal. This is the outcome of relentless effort, of consistently grinding, of holding on to belief, and of proving the doubters wrong time and time again. Regardless of the noise from skeptics, the reward always comes, and when it does for someone with the drive of Eala, it lands in the most magnificent way imaginable. She has refined her skills to a world-class level while simultaneously creating a personal brand that reaches far beyond the boundaries of the sport. By forging a deep bond with fans around the planet, she has cemented her status as a once-in-a-generation talent. For every person who scoffed, who questioned her, who tried to stand in her way, and who whispered that she'd never make it this far, the final accounting is here. The $30 million Gatorade partnership is a fact. The move to Chicago is a fact. The empire being constructed around Eala is very much a fact. And the only thing more guaranteed than her continued success is the profound regret now settling in on every single person who made the foolish choice to bet against her.